I'm here with Petey himself, also known as Petey USA, also known as 90 pounds of Pete, right?
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah.
you've had many names over the years.
Mm.
Um, First off, you have a new album out called the Yips. So when you were getting into this album, what would you say like brings this album different than all the other stuff, all these other variations you've done?
I think it was the first time I went into recording knowing it was the first time I went into like writing songs knowing who I was going to record them with, because we got linked up with Chris Walla pretty early on
Very
in the
cool.
process, and that it was just kind of like a no-brainer, like not like if he wants to do it, like let's do it with him
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
And I hadn't written the songs yet, so it was the first time I kind of wrote the stuff knowing who I was gonna work with.
Very cool.
The other two projects were kind of like, the first one was just kind of like one piece at a time, and then all of a sudden I had an album without trying to make one. And then the second one I had started writing and working with a couple people before I landed on the producers I was working with. But this was the first one that I was like, all right, we're working with Chris, and now I'm gonna write the songs. So
So he reached out to you. He was a fan of the music, or
I think we reached out to him.
okay. You're like, come
And then
on, Chris.
real
You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and
I've
then
heard
realized,
your tunes.
yeah, and
So
then he
he
had,
he was in Death Cab, right?
exactly, yeah. So
Yeah.
that
So
was huge for me. That was pretty. They were a really like formative band for
for
me.
sure, for
Yeah,
sure. I would say Death Cab is one of the bands that have held up too, and like
yeah,
all the different variations of Death Cab over the years.
yeah,
Even like they're like making theme songs and stuff now, and even that's good. So
yeah.
so
No,
that's always a good sign when they come from that lineage. And then Chris has worked on a lot of great albums
for
in
sure.
the indie space and all sorts of stuff. So
Yeah,
um, yeah, I mean, you've been doing this a long time, like I mentioned. And before we started recording, you said you started out in Chicago. That's around the area where you grew up, and I
uh-huh.
know you write about that too. But
Yeah.
then I know through a friend, Neil from Phony, that you had played in New Orleans, right? So was it? Would you say that you like pulled from both of those scenes, or like was it more one or the other? Or
I never really played in New Orleans. Like I made some
really?
like on my laptop with friends, sure, kind of like a dorm room project, but I never played a show. I was still playing in Young Jesus back then, but it was like kind of long distance. Like they were still in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, and they were coming up to New Orleans, and it was just kind of a fun college project. And then we were going tours during the summer, but I was never in any bands in college, and I was never in any bands after college.
That's wild.
Yeah, I would play some shows on drums here and there with
Yeah.
Young Jesus, but no, this was my first project, like really taking it seriously. It was like
Yeah.
fun.
So
Yeah.
so while you were in college, then I guess obviously you're not playing in bands.
Yeah.
What were you like? What was your goal? Like what were you up to at the time, other than just like being reckless and dancing around? You know.
That's it. I was only being reckless and dancing around. I had no goals. I had no direction. I was really enjoying New Orleans. I was really enjoying living there and having a ton of fun. And I think it was a really good experience. I don't know. It's like really hard for me to like quantify like what I got out of it. I got a lot of good friends. And I got to experience living in the coolest city in the United States, I think. And probably one of the coolest cities in the world. I mean, it's crazy. It's like the more I travel with this, the more I realize just like how uniquely amazing New Orleans is.
Yeah, yeah. I just finally got there for the first time, and I was just like, oh my God, like I'm trying to soak in as much as I can, like heading
It
out to see like as many shows and
it's
performers.
really crazy. Yeah, I think New Orleans is so cool. I think it's cooler than Mexico City. I think it's like
Mm,
it's so wildly itself.
yeah.
I loved it. So I mean, I'm very grateful that I got to spend 4 years though, but I wasn't working on anything, and I wasted. I don't know if I literally don't know. It's just like
Yeah.
total blur. My college experience is a total
I
blur.
kind of feel the same, to be honest. I showed up to college as like undecided. We called it fun decided. I went to University of Delaware, Blue Hens, baby.
Yeah, hell
So
yeah.
so we were just like being reckless and stuff too. And then I would find things I liked. Like I
Yeah,
went on the radio just to like play music and be drunk with my friends on the air, you
yeah,
know? But
yeah, yeah,
like then you find, oh, I kind of like that, you know, or
yeah.
like you like do some filming stuff and you're like, oh, that was fun. But yeah,
Yeah,
not everything in your life has to be like, and then I did this, and then I did this,
yeah,
you
for
know?
sure. Because I would go. I mean, the DIY scene in New Orleans was awesome. It was so great. Like bands like Cattywampus and Sun Hotel and Donovan Wolfington and like these are all my friends, you know. And I would go to the shows. I didn't play in any of the bands, but I would go to the shows and even going to those shows and like being around that scene. I never was like, oh, I want to do this. Like I never like
Yeah,
really had a desire to be a part of it. I always sort of like kept it as arm's length, at arm's length, as just like something that my friends were doing, but I wasn't necessarily that interested in. And I
yeah,
never like dove in. I don't know why. I just it was never really my thing.
yeah.
I had a lot of other interests and I would like to go I like to go to the swamp and explore the swamp and see alligators and all that stuff.
Yeah, nature vibes.
Yeah, I would say my biggest regret about that whole thing is just like I've always like right now I'm so into just like the swamp as like a biome and like I want to be like a forest ranger or a park ranger one day.
That's
Uh
incredible. That's wild. I always told people if I did my life again, I would just to go be a park ranger.
yeah,
Like they
yeah.
seem like they have everything. Like I mean, it's not easy, but they're
Right.
outside. You're helping people.
That's what I want to do, and it's so crazy. So the swamp is like my favorite biome. Like I'm obsessed with it. Like all the animals in there, I'm obsessed with
That's
alligators,
wild.
obsessed with everything. And I had the opportunity, and like I went to school in New Orleans. Like I went to school in like the
In the swamp.
epicenter of all that stuff.
Mhm.
And like a part of going to a college is like you can find biology professors that are like out there doing like field
Yeah,
research. It's the one
yeah,
time in your life where you can actually you have access to that,
yeah,
and it just like I didn't think about it
yeah,
because I
yeah.
was too busy partying. Uh, and looking
Yeah,
back, I was like, damn, I could have like gotten an actual education and shit that like I'm really interested in. I would love to have a degree in biology right now.
yeah,
I would feel so much more like relaxed about the future. And I bonked it. I absolutely bonked
yeah.
it. Uh,
I think part of the difficulty is like you go to college, and at least in the United States, like everyone goes so young. And then
yeah,
like you're
yeah,
just like, woohoo, I'm a kid. And then they're
yeah,
like, well, what degree did you get? And like my
yeah,
degree was in history, but that
yeah,
was like at the end, I was like, like
yeah.
I like history. I can
Realistically, and honest to God, realistically, the most appropriate time for me on the course of my life to start my undergrad would be probably 2 years ago at 31.
yeah,
That would be if I could do it all over again and like set a new
yeah.
timeline for myself, I would start undergrad at 31
Hey, I mean
and
that's an
know what I want to do.
alternative. You know,
It,
it's a gap decade
yeah,
at this point.
I think
But that might be fine, you know, like I think
yeah,
that people have made that work for sure.
yeah,
You wouldn't have
totally.
college debt. I mean, I don't know if you do, but I definitely have debt, so it's a lot of fun.
It's just funny, yeah. It's just like I spent 10 years like really trying to figure it out. And now like I just got married and we want to start a
Congratulations.
family. Thank you very much. We want to start a family. It's just like thinking about work and I don't know. I was trying so hard in my early 20s to just be able to provide for myself uh that I didn't think about anyone else in
Hmm.
in my financial circle. Uh, but it's just funny. It's just like I wasn't thinking about that for my whole 20s. Now at like 31, I don't know. It's just it's so wild. I definitely think the gap decade would have been the right move
Yeah.
for how
Well,
slow I process things.
yeah, and I think part of it is that it's just such a weird time for creative people.
Yeah,
Like we were talking about before this. Like I make films, I interview people, I'm doing
Yeah.
law stuff, I'm doing that. And then it's like, oh, I still make no money? How is this
Y-
even possible? You know,
Yeah,
like when I was like messing around when I was young, I'm like, man, if I could get like one of these jobs, I'll be good. Now it
yeah,
turns out you need like eight.
yeah, yeah,
And especially I think people watching this will think, oh man, Petey, he's big, like he's famous, you know, he's
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah,
all that Instagram money.
yeah, yeah,
But it's not like a steady way to live. And
yeah.
it's not like you're like out here blowing the money on crazy stuff. It's just expensive these days to like survive.
Yeah. Well, it's also not contingent on it's not contingent on like you can't really plan for the future. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
like I want to keep making records, you know? Like I really like making records. It's really I feel like I'm good at it. I feel like people like it. I really like making silly internet videos. I feel like I'm good at that. I feel like people like those. But there's so much about the general landscape that's so out of my control where it's just like
yeah,
you know, I have a strong feeling that no matter how the landscape changes and sort of like whatever is the thing, you know, I think I'm creative enough to thrive in it, you know, and
yeah,
keep my shit up. But it's also you know, it's not guaranteed. Like I don't
yeah,
know. It's just like you always have anxiety about like the well running dry, and you always have anxiety about you know, you just like look at the record label sphere and you look at the music listening sphere, and
yeah,
it's just like I don't know. It's just a lot of there's a lot of question marks there, and like how
yeah,
are things going to be in 10 years? I do trust myself to be able to make a living doing it all because I think I'm good at it, but it's not as solid as other careers. Uh,
yeah, yeah. And it like it isn't by design, but it's especially bad right now.
yeah,
And it's not quality based, which is kind of crazy. Like
for
you can
sure. Yeah,
make better and better stuff and have worse results, or
yeah,
vice versa. It's like what
yeah,
the, you know.
yeah,
So that's what's frustrating to me. Or at a certain point, someone out of the sky can just like be like, never again shall you work at this company, and you're like, what?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
sure you've run into that too. So that's a good crossover, I guess, because you said like during college you weren't really in bands. Then at some point you were like figuring out what you want to do. You're a creative person, and then you were in some bands, and then now you're like making records pretty consistently,
Yeah.
and these like comedy videos, which you also are pretty well known for, almost separately, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so how did that like? How did you get into that? You know, what drew you back into making music, and what also drew you into making like comedy videos? Was it united? Was it like one or the other?
Well, the music thing was I was just I was working in the mailroom for a big company for like 3.5 years, and that was just sort of like I kept putting myself in professional settings where I could get health insurance, I could get minimum wage, and also do very little work at work.
Hey, that's
And
not the worst.
yeah, it wasn't. It was a big. It was just sort of like this. I would go to a corporate office every day and work half the day, you know, and my work
Yeah,
was literally just delivering mail and sorting mail, and the rest of the day was just like a lot of free time waiting for the freight elevator to open up, and you know, it's like and I was always just like, this is good because if I'm ever gonna make anything of myself, it's probably gonna be in the creative field. I have like strong aptitudes towards that. Uh, this is probably going to work out, and I'll just stay in this little bubble until I could figure out what to do with that. Enough time passed, and I think I was just like pushing away the music thing. I think yeah, just like my whole relationship with music had been kind of like that's not going to be the thing. But I don't know why I was saying that. I don't know why. That was just like what I was telling myself. And then finally I just sort of like let it in, recorded a couple tunes, was able to secure an indie deal with Terrible Records, got a check for like, you know, 17 grand to be stipend off like yeah, it was like a 3 EP deal, and each EP I got another like 17 grand or something. So I was like, I'm
not
making
bad.
30, I'm making 30 right now. So if I can record 3 EPs, I'll make more money than I'm doing sitting in this, little corporate cave hole. And so it's like that'll work. Uh Sign the deal, quit. COVID happened, the world opened up in a way that I'd always wanted it to, which is just like, sweet. I've got some money in my bank account. No one's doing anything. All I got to do is sit down. No one's expecting anything of anyone. No one's expecting anything of me. Uh, and I was just like thinking really clearly for the first time. And then that's when me and Will, who's my manager and kind of collaborator, started making funny videos in his backyard. He was aware of TikTok. I was not aware of TikTok. And he was just like, let's do this thing because we can't play shows and we can't do the music thing really
Yeah.
right now. And we filmed the first TikTok and it went completely viral. And then we kept filming more TikToks. It kept more and more viral. None of them had anything to do with music.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, it became a thing with the fans, like if you know, type thing. And then
Uh-huh.
COVID ended, we put the concerts on sale. They all sold out. They're like, 400 cap rooms.
Yeah. It
And we're like,
was
all right,
wild how
cool.
that
I got a
happened,
career
you
now.
know?
This is sick. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was most people that shared your stuff with me just knew you as the video person.
Yeah.
And then I knew your music through other people sharing your music with me. But I
Mhm.
literally never realized that it was the same person
Yeah.
because your videos like very rarely mention it. And
Yeah.
then like now they do more a little so, but like yeah, at the time very very rarely. So
Yeah.
you were like doing both of these things and they were both kind of starting to work and both
Mhm.
helping each other,
Yeah.
you know.
For sure.
um do you ever feel uh like more interested in doing one or the other? Like does one ever feel like more of a job and the other one's like, oh, I really want to write a song but I got to make these videos, or like something like that? Or are you kind of free to do whichever you want?
I'm kind of free to do whichever I want. It's kind of just like whatever the day or week, whatever, like if and whatever the strategic value is in doing either,
Yeah.
like I put videos on the internet and they're seen by like millions of people and I'll get like, 5,000 new Instagram followers. And then hopefully that's another, some percentage of those new followers will find out that I play music. They'll listen to the tunes. They'll realize they really relate to some of the stuff. And then they'll buy tickets. So it's just
Yeah.
like casting a wide net with like the comedy stuff. And
Yeah.
hopefully, the more people that join the party,
Yeah.
research, find out about the music, and then buy concert tickets, and then I,
Yeah.
I keep playing music, keep making
A little
music.
more dollars. But
Yeah, yeah,
it's
that's the
one of
job.
those things though where it is related but it isn't, you know, because one of my favorite things about your songs is the songwriting, and it's comedic songwriting. It's a little dark, it's like a little sarcastic, a little silly, and your videos are the same way. It's
Yeah,
just a very different format.
for sure.
So I could definitely see you doing a lot of different types of creative things.
Yeah.
Do you have any desire to do like things that are different than what you've done before? Like, could you do like mainstream acting, or are you more just like, all right, I have enough on my plate?
I do have enough on my plate, but I am welcoming like any and all opportunities. I was in a movie last year, and that was really fun. It was crazy. I mean, it was
What's it
like,
called? Is it out yet?
yeah, it's called Sitting in Bars with Cake. It's an extremely sad movie that I didn't even know how sad it was until I watched it. And I was like, damn, that's not the vibe that I got from whatever
You're like,
my
my scene was pretty cheerful though.
it was really, really silly. And I was just like doing my own thing. And the
Yeah.
director, Trish, was just like so sweet. And she was liked my videos. So it was like kind of like the first job I've had like that where she was just like, just do your thing. And we're putting you in this movie so you can just like do your thing. And it was a really,
Yeah.
really silly scene in a bar. And I got to just sort of like use the just sort of, I don't know, improvise a little bit. It
Yeah.
was really fun. I mean, I had like 6 lines and I was there for 15 hours, uh
Nice.
wearing,
Are you in SAG yet or no?
yeah, I had to be
Nice.
for that one. I think, yeah, it was so funny. It's just like the SAG I was like, oh my God, I'm in a movie. And then I ended up spending money to be in SAG.
Yeah. My sister's an actress and she's in SAG and she's like, oh, I can't wait to give them my check.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
The nice thing is that like once you're in SAG, like you can purchase healthcare through them. And
You have
in
to,
music, there's nothing like that though.
so you have to make $20,000
Yeah, it's not easy.
in acting credits to qualify for health insurance. I think I've made about $1,200 in like 5 years. So
Not quite there. And
not
and
quite.
and even then it's like you have to purchase it.
Yeah,
It's not like a here's your reward. You can
yeah,
go to the dentist. And
yeah,
you're like, "Oh, damn." So that speaking of the dentist, what's it you're on the West Coast now, right?
yeah,
California.
yeah.
That is an interesting place for creative people. As an East Coast person myself, it's very it's full of people who want to be in the
Uh-huh.
industry, and
Uh-huh.
some of them are legit and some of them are like the worst people you ever met,
Sure. Sure,
so
yeah.
how have you found it, and how, like, obviously you worked like in a creative industry, like in an office, so I'm sure you're
Sure.
around it a lot. How have you found that adjustment?
Well, I will being in LA is good because the proximity for opportunity, like just the ability to like go out to dinner with people, to go out to dinner with like your agents when you're doing that sort of courtship and labels and all that stuff. And shit just happens like a lot faster than over email. And uh, my current manager, former label, like we were able to just do things so quickly from like
Yeah,
the 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 time between getting coffee and then signing a deal and getting things started was like super quick. So that's fucking awesome. I don't find LA to be a place that I'm particularly creatively fueled by. Uh
the
I don't know.
concrete ain't doing it for you.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know if you could tell by just like looking at me or my listening to my music or seeing what I wear or whatever. LA is just like totally not my place for
Yeah,
creative stuff, but I'm gone all the time. Like I'm in Chicago
yeah,
all the time. My wife's from New Hampshire, so I was just up there. Uh
that's a good spot.
yeah, it's fucking beautiful. I love the Northeast. Me and medium build Nick did a co-headlining acoustic tour in small towns in the Northeast,
Nice.
and I just kind of fell in love with it up there. I love the woods up there. It's so green. It's so amazing. I
Yeah.
really love Northern California. I love San Francisco. I have a lot of fun in LA, and it's got like really fun stuff, and I have a really good life. It's just like I don't know. I don't, I just like trees. I just like green.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I feel you. It's like when people say, "Oh, what don't you like about LA?" It's like, well, I love the food and I
Yeah,
love the
yeah,
shows and I
yeah,
love being around all the people in the creative industries,
yeah,
but also I don't like it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like one of those things, like they built it about as best of a city as they can there, but it's a little too like glimmering,
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
need a
yeah.
little nature, you need a little grit, but
I
I
also,
mean, it does allow things to happen, so that's why I get out there. I mean, I even like I lived in New York for a long time. That's got its own problems.
yeah,
So
yeah. Oh,
you
for
take
sure.
it and
But
give.
I love going to New York for like 5 days, and then on day six, I'm just like crawling out of there. It's just
Oh
like
yeah,
it's so loud. It's so loud.
yeah. I
Yeah,
live next to a fire station too, so it's
yeah,
just sirens nonstop, and you
yeah.
get used to it. But then your nervous system doesn't. You
Oh,
wake
for
up and
sure.
you're like, oh,
Yeah,
"What?"
I'm just scared there. Yeah,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
but I have a lot
Well,
of fun.
I tell people like the streets, the streets are cold. Like when you're
Yeah,
out on the street, you always have to be aware in the city. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just like lounging around. Like, no,
yeah,
that's not
yeah,
going to work out well for you.
yeah.
But I do love it there as well. So I mean, every scene's got its pros and its cons and everything
For
like
sure. I
that.
mean, I
So
mean, I take advantage of the nature stuff a lot here, and there is a lot. Like it's like driving to the mountains is uh really easy, and I do it quite often. But I've been here for 11 years, and I've just sort of been like, it's so funny. Like every weekend I leave, like every
yeah,
single weekend. I haven't been in LA in a weekend in years because I just hit the fuck out. And I'm sure
Yeah,
like
yeah,
starting to take inventory of just like what I like. It's just like maybe I should live in the places that I'm choosing to be and then check in with the city when I need to do work or something.
right.
Uh
As somebody who moved from New York City to Asbury Park on the beach, I can say that that works out pretty well.
Dude, I
So,
love Asbury Park. That's oh, I love it. The Northeast small towns are
hey,
just
we got something going on. But
so good.
I just saw with Tom Green, he moved out of LA. He was like, I'm done with LA. And he
Yeah.
moved, I think he's from Vancouver or out near there somewhere.
Uh-huh.
So he moved back into the trees. But there's ways to do it now. But like, I mean, when you're starting out, there's no better place to be than in the cities where you could take those meetings on a moment
For
notice
sure.
or run into someone, you know. So
For sure. Yeah.
um so we've talked about a ton of creative stuff that you've done, but your album's called the Yips, right? So do you get like the Yips ever? Do you get anxiety about performing at all?
Oh
Or
yeah.
are you just kind of just like letting it ride?
No, I have horrible anxiety about performing. It's really it's it's still something that I still deal with. Uh it's crazy. I mean, yeah, the thought if I, what I really think about what it means to play a show and to just like sing for people. I think if you grew up with me or knew me when I was a kid or knew me when I was younger, you'd be like, that's fucking insane that people do that. And so I still have that part of my brain that's like, oh my God, I'm kind of like on the hook to sing for a room full of people tonight. It's so crazy.
Yeah,
Uh, I could play drums for and not even think twice about it. But it's just something, it's like using my fucking vocal cords as my instrument. The same thing that I have conversations with is so
yeah,
uh,
it trips you out. Yeah,
trippy. And then you sort of think about it when you're up there, just like synapse to synapse, like, oh, I'm in control of everything that I'm projecting right now. Uh, and you get in your head a bit, it's a bit dissociative. But yeah,
yeah,
singing for people is just like fucking crazy. It's like totally not for me. But it's something I have to do to keep this thing moving. That's just like I'm
yeah,
a songwriter and that's my instrument. But yeah, I get really anxious about like all the logistics about touring too. Like I'm on the hook financially for this shit. Like if I get COVID, I can't make a show. Like I lose a shit ton of money and it's stressful, and all the
yeah,
logistics. You got a band, you have employees, you have all this stuff. It's like the reason why I'm a good songwriter and a good artist is because, I've got fucking ADD, ADHD, whatever the fuck, the whole nine. Like I got it.
yeah. Same, same.
Like
Right? They just like read them off, read them off.
yeah, sure. So those things that probably it's like kind of like fuel my songwriting are also the things that make me just like a terrible leader. So I just like
Yeah,
passively I make so many passive decisions. I let and like because I just like put it off, don't want to think about it. And then it's kind of just like, oh well, how did I get here type of thing. Like
yeah.
uh
Yeah, I mean, I get that as well as somebody else who has like I got like OCD, ADHD, all of it, you know, and
sure.
it's like
Yeah.
just that anxiety disorder stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I get what you mean when if you start thinking about the words that you're saying and then you're like, wait, if I say the wrong words,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
like it'll mess everything up. It'll ruin my life. I better not throw up right now. You
Yeah,
know, it's like
exactly.
it's one of those kind of things. So it
Yeah,
can be terrifying and to keep putting yourself in that situation as part of your job is also tough. Like being on
totally.
camera right now is trippy as it is, but
Yeah,
it's like there's ways to do it that are comfortable and ways to do it that are not. And
yeah.
I feel the same way where it's like the same sensitivity that makes me good at stuff also
Mm.
makes me sensitive and like fucked up, you know?
Right, yeah, yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like it's such a trade-off, but I think a lot of creative people are dealing with that and
yeah, totally.
either they're like dealing with it or they're repressing it and deal with it later. So it's
For
probably
sure.
better that you're like encountering it head on and calling your album the Yips is one way to do that.
Yeah, and also like life is good. Like if you look at stuff holistically, like damn, life is really, really good. And that's something that I just like I'm pretty good at doing. It's just like this thing, the touring thing feeds this thing, and that feeds this thing, that feeds this thing, and then ultimately it's just like I'll find myself uh swimming in the ocean on like a Tuesday night and being like, damn, I'm able to do all this because I do this and do this
Yeah.
and do
Yeah.
this. Like life fucking rocks and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And touring, like honestly, it's fun. I'm better. Like in the middle of the night, you'll think that you didn't make any progress on the um on the Yips stuff, and then you'll be walking out to play a show and be like, oh whoa, 3 years ago, like this would have been really hard. This doesn't feel that hard right now.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's huge. And I think sometimes like you get in rhythms. The brain is super tricky. Like
Yeah,
if you find something that's difficult for you, it'll like hit you at that. If it
yeah,
becomes easier, if you do it more, then it'll find something else. So you
yeah.
just always have to stay on it. But no, it sounds good that you're like encountering it. I always think of who is it, Chuck Knobloch, who couldn't
Mhm.
throw to first base. And I'm
Yeah,
like, that's way worse.
yeah.
You know,
Oh,
any
for
yips
sure.
that I get, like at least it's not a career ender, you know?
Dude,
So
any professional sports stuff, being a closer,
yeah,
like nothing I have ever gone through compares to even a fraction
yeah,
of that. Fucking even like the other day, I was watching the Cubs, like this closer Palencia. It's like he absolutely fucked it. I mean, we were up 3-1, and he gave up 5 runs in the top of the ninth. This is like
yeah,
not playoffs, not anything, and still he had the worst. He had a worse day than I've ever had. Uh,
yeah, yeah. As I'm a diehard Mets fan, so I know that life,
oh
you know, it's
yeah,
like just watching people's just dreams come crashing down, and also you're like, but also I hate you. You blew
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Why did you do that? You
yeah,
know, but like you
yeah.
know they don't want to do that, obviously. But yeah,
Right,
it's like, why don't you just be successful? Why don't you be
right, yeah,
good?
yeah, yeah.
So that's definitely a challenge that I think all different types of people face.
Uh-huh.
Creatively, it's tricky though because it's all coming out of your head. So
Yeah.
getting into sports, I mean, sports is something you bring up a lot in your music, also in your comedy a little bit. But I know that you're a variety of sports fans. Who are your teams?
All Chicago teams. So big Blackhawks fan. Was high school was when they were winning, and that was Patrick Kane and Duncan Keith,
Yeah,
uh,
Tays,
Taves,
Toes.
the whole gang. And that was just it was so fun. It was the most fun.
Yeah,
Um, I really like the Bears, but they are sad and horrible and disappointing. Cubs, something I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in their ability to make it past the first round. Um, yeah, Cubs over White Sox, and then the Bulls. When the Bulls are good, it's cool. I've been pretty disillusioned with the NBA in general. I don't know. It's been hard. It's been hard to pay attention to for me. I don't know why. It's just
yeah,
not keeping my interest. And I think it's maybe the knowledge that it's just like the Bulls are so bad. But also there were some pretty bad Bulls teams or like 40 and 40 teams that I was really engaged with. I think during the
yeah.
Heinrich years, even before Derrick
Oh,
Rose, I
Kirk
was like
Heinrich.
really invested with like Ben Gordon and like Tyson Chandler uh and all that stuff. And right now it's just not the NBA in general is just not clicking for me. And I
Yeah,
haven't really interrogated it.
yeah, yeah. I'm
But
a Knicks, Jets, Mets, Devils. So when I
yeah,
was a kid, the Devils winning cups, I was like, this is great. The
yeah,
Mets never won in my life. The Jets never won in my life. The Knicks
yeah.
never won in my life.
I think the
So
difference is that like I don't like watching basketball games between. I don't. I like watching the Bulls,
yeah,
but I'm not watching a lot of basketball that the Bulls aren't playing. However, I do like watching random hockey and NFL games.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
same. I mean, it's hard too with the basketball because the season's long and
yeah,
the refs are so corrupt, the league's so corrupt. I
yeah,
mean, like you said in your song, everything is fake, everything is fake, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah,
Have you seen like the Pablo Torre reporting and all this about like the NBA and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
I was wondering, does this me and my wife are always whenever we're watching and there's like a foul call late, we just say everything is fake, everything is fake.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I was wondering, do you feel more validated by Pablo Torres reporting, or do you feel more depressed by it? Because
Um,
I vary between those two, where I'm like, I knew this was messed up, and then I'm like, oh, this is hard to watch right now.
yeah, I think feeling validated with that sort of stuff never feels good,
Yeah, it's
like
like
you just like
great.
like it's you have feelings about things and you can be 99% confident about something. Um, but whatever that 1% is still just keeps you in it. In a way,
Yeah.
just sort of like an ignorance is bliss way, and then just like having the smoke screen. Uh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's depressing, but
Sports can be like that too. It's like
yeah.
every once in a while you'll like feel your whole heart into it, and you're like, this is, I'll watch every game forever. And then like a couple bad years, some weird
Yeah.
news story, your favorite player does some crime, you're like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
I like music more actually,
For sure.
so
Sure.
it can be one of those things, but at least it's a distraction from all this like other stuff,
Yeah,
uh
I mean, at the end of the day, especially being from Chicago, it's I don't know. It's just such an incredible sports town. The shared camaraderie of an entire city rallying behind a team, and when they win, just like this moment of like shared euphoria with millions of people is pretty hard to replicate in anything else.
yeah.
And it's just so fun. There's
I,
nothing else like it.
I think that that's one mistake that the New York sports fan market has made, is
Yeah,
that they have two teams for every sport.
yeah,
So when anyone wins, half the people are pissed. They're
yeah.
like, "Oh, the Yankees won, who cares?" Or the Mets won,
Right.
who cares? So
Yeah,
so it's never like every New Yorker. The
yeah.
only thing that's really like that is the Knicks, because nobody cares about the Nets at all.
Right. Yeah,
So they're
exactly.
like totally forgotten. Or
Also,
like,
yeah, I went to my first Knicks game this year, and the atmosphere is out of control.
yeah,
I mean, it was a complete throwaway game. Like no one, like,
yeah.
Jalen was benched. We were playing the Sixers, who are the worst team in the league, and
Yeah.
it was still electric. It was
Oh, I
fucking
know.
crazy.
And the MSG is small.
It's
Like
awesome. It's so
it's
fun.
not nearly as big as it looks on TV. You're
Yeah,
right near like the lower stands and all that.
yeah,
And
yeah. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
just seeing a game there is wild. But I've seen some real, like, it's hard to get Knicks tickets. So when
Uh-huh.
you do, or when I do, it's usually because they're so bad. And
Yeah,
then it usually ends up being worse. Like I
sure.
showed up one time and Porzingis just like was like, that was when he was like, I'm done, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
So they had just nobody to play. They're like, anybody in
yeah,
the D League like want to
yeah,
come up?
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
oh, I paid a lot of money for this, but it's still fun. It's like it's still New York City basketball.
yeah.
I'm also a St. John's college basketball fan, and they play in the Garden. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, they're like New York City's college basketball team. So that
Mhm.
is one area where the city's pretty unified, semi-unified.
Right on.
Um, but as far as sports stuff, here's one question: if you could make either a comedy video, song, something for any of your favorite sports teams, what would you do? Or what team would you like to work with, or player?
What team or player? I think the Bears, because they've made me the most sad. Uh, and that over the course of my life, the Bears have made me more sad than any other Chicago sports team. And I write sad songs. I pretty much like, that's what I write about. So I think it would just, in terms of how easy it would be, uh,
Yeah,
definitely the Bears and whoever the quarterback is at the time, because
yeah, you might
that's been the
rotate.
problem forever. Even when the Bears won the Super Bowl, like Jim McMahon was like not that good, you know? He was like never.
Yeah, yeah. His brains are like barely holding together, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Don't worry, guys,
yeah.
I got it."
Um, Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler's my favorite
Smoking
Bears
Jay,
quarterback of all time, just because I don't know, I like secretly like loved his attitude. Uh, and it
very
was
Chicago attitude. It
yeah,
works
yeah,
for
yeah.
them.
It was fun to watch. But so yeah, I would write a song about Jay Cutler. I'll probably do that.
You know what? Writing a song about Jay Cutler, I think, is a good strategy,
Smoking
because
Jay. Yeah, it's in
he's
yeah.
someone who appeals to such a wide audience. Like, it's not just a Chicago sports thing. If you
Right,
write
right,
about some other random quarterback, I don't know. But
right.
yeah, no, that's a good one. And I think the Bears could use some new music. They've been going on that '80s music
Yeah,
for too long. We could
yeah,
use a fresh take on that. No, that's sweet. Who knows? That might happen with all this Instagram success. They might
Yeah.
be like, "Hey, can you announce the schedule for us next year?"
Yeah.
Let's see. So we talked about traveling and stuff. I just have a couple more questions. But when you're traveling around to do all your touring and you're dealing with all this different stuff, is there
Mhm.
what was the coolest thing that you've seen? Like on a day off or something? Like, do you get to check out like a cool swamp
Yeah.
or a stadium or something like that?
Yeah. Let me think about what the coolest thing. Um, we played a festival in Tasmania.
Wow.
And it was like 110 degrees. So it's like we played at like 1 p.m. and we're like, let's get the hell out of here right after we play. Uh so we loaded up all our gear and we went straight to this gorge that had just this beautiful river and this beautiful gorge with this rope uh bridge that went over it, and it looked like something out of like Logical Zumbinis, the uh
Wow.
PC game. And we swam in it and we walked around, explored the area, and it was breathtaking. It was so cool. It was really easy to get to. Uh,
Wow.
and Tasmania is cool. It's like fucking. It's like if Wyoming was an island, which is awesome. So that was really fun. Other than that, we saw there's a huge meteor impact in Arizona. That's really cool. I
Mhm.
think it's the biggest one
Wow.
in the United States. And Crater Lake is awesome. We had a good day there. Um, yeah, I love all that shit. I mean, I think the United States is so beautiful. I love driving in it. I love driving
For
everywhere.
sure.
In every region, there's something awesome to see.
Oh yeah, and especially I hadn't been out west much because like in the Northeast we have parks, but they're not like national parks. So I
Yeah,
got out to a couple national parks now, and I'm like, whoa, this is
yeah,
wild! You
it's
guys
so
have so
cool.
much, you know. It's and
Yeah,
it just makes you want to see more. It makes you want to get out there.
yeah, yeah,
So if you pursue this national park ranger dream,
yeah.
which park would you want to be stationed at? Would you go with a swamp park? Would you be swamp master Petey, or would you be more like
I'm just like I'm married now, and me and my wife are really we're aligned on like 90% of geography. Uh, however, like I don't like whatever like regional political whatever the fuck, like I don't give a shit about. Like I only care if the place looks cool. You know what I mean? It's just like I'll find five friends to hang out with like wherever the hell. Like I don't need to like you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
literally live anywhere. I don't give a I don't care. If it's cool, it's cool. But I'm always talking about like living in Florida and stuff and like southeast and all that. Just because I like would love to be by the Everglades. I would love to be a park ranger in the Everglades. It's just like super appealing to me. Uh, but I don't think that that's in the cards, sort of marriage and family wise. Uh, because my
It's
wife.
in Florida, you know.
Yeah. So I think that the next best thing is Bay Area, San Francisco. My wife is a really big runner, um, and she needs sunshine. Geographically where I feel like I belong is the Pacific Northwest and the far southeast. So this corner
Yeah.
and so kind of anywhere where I am now, like the Southwest is beautiful. It's just like it's not. I don't feel like spiritually connected to the terrain.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I would like to, I love Portland, Hood River area, Seattle. I'd love to live in like the Orca Islands of San Juan
That's
Island.
wild, yeah.
I would do that in a heartbeat. It's just too rainy for my wife to run. So I think Northern California, San Francisco is like a nice sweet
Yeah.
spot for both of us where we can.
Watch those otters, all those otters they
I,
got.
I mean, I love it up there. I think like so being a park ranger in Northern California uh is pretty awesome. And I look forward to that chapter life very much.
You're like, I just have to sell enough records that I can go back to park ranger school,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
then I will get rich very slow. No,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's all about finding things for different stages of your life. But no, that sounds incredible. Have you ever been down to Key West?
No, I've never like been
Oh
to. I
man,
lived
you
in
should
Florida
go to
when
Key
I was
West.
little, and I really, really hate the public discourse about Florida, especially from like just like elite, like rich liberals, because like it's like so paradoxical. Where I'm just like, listen, like I like you can find people that are politically aligned with you in any state, and if you actually like have friends and develop a community in a place that like doesn't like align with your political views, then that's just like an opportunity to like make a positive change in the way that like you see it, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So
And
every
if
time
you
I'm just
if
like,
you go to Florida, it's like you're gonna meet punks, you're gonna meet tons
you're
of
gonna meet
Hispanic people.
everyone. There's everyone everywhere. Like
Yeah,
literally, it's so annoying, and I feel like that's like just sort of like a product of like modern like mainstream media and like polarization of everything or whatever. But I'm always just kind of like, yeah, I'd love to live in Florida, and then everyone just like rolls their eyes like, fucking Florida, everyone's fucking crazy down there. Like, no, they're not. Like, are you insane? They're like
yeah, yeah,
big ass places to live with a
yeah.
lot of people.
You're like, I lived in New Orleans, okay, I can live.
Yeah, just I mean, there's just cool people everywhere, and it's so
Yeah,
stupid. Like some of
yeah,
the people, the smartest people that I've ever met, like quote unquote, just going to like, like really like nice institutions like Ivy League schools and shit, and they're too stupid to be like, oh, maybe there's some cool people and
yeah,
X, Y, and Z. It's just like it
yeah,
doesn't take a lot of critical thinking to be like, damn, there's good people everywhere. But I don't know.
yeah. And
I get
and
I get fired up about it just because I want to live in the Everglades so bad.
yeah, I think part of what draw me into music is that you meet all these people, you go visit all these scenes, and like if you go to Orlando, see the bands from Orlando or Gainesville, Florida, or Miami, like there's a lot of cool stuff there. I
Yeah,
wouldn't say it's like you said, like not everyone's your people or you're like where you want to live, but
yeah,
there's a lot of cool stuff going on. The graffiti art in Miami is crazy, but
yeah,
Key West is like a little pirate island, and it's just all surrounded with the Everglades and stuff. So they're
yeah,
like almost like a San Francisco out there. They're like very
yeah.
like out on the edge. So I was thinking
Sounds like my
some
dream.
exactly some PD music. That's where Ernest Hemingway lived.
Yeah,
So you could just have to play a show out there someday.
yeah, yeah.
But that's one thing, you could go travel there. Your wife doesn't have to live there. But it's always a trade off.
Life is a long and winding road, and I'm who knows what could happen.
Who
But
knows?
I'm open to
So one final question. Thank you so much for doing this. Had a great time talking to you, and
yeah.
I'm sure I'll want to talk to you more in the future when I see more funny videos and more great songs come out. But my final question is, do people ever get on your case about spoiling the OC that Marissa died?
Honestly, if they do, it's just like statute of limitations, like if you haven't seen it at this point, you sort of missed the boat. It's a great show though, and it's still worth watching, even if I spoiled it. It's some of the best TV I've ever seen. But yeah, there's some people, it's usually not serious, and it usually is like, wow, this song is awesome, by the way. Uh, so
Yeah, at least that's good. It
all the
is it
discourse
is
has been
20
good.
years ago. I
Yeah.
think most people who don't know either never were going to watch the show or are too young to even know what it is. So
Yeah.
I think you're pretty much safe. But when I heard that line in the song, I was just like, wait, what? Because
Yeah.
I don't think I ever made it past season one. I
Yeah.
might have to get back. I was more of a supernatural One Tree Hill kind of guy in those days.
Gotcha. I
But
missed that whole thing, but I'm, again, leaving the door open to.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, it all depends like what channels your house got when you were a kid and like what your friends told you to watch.
Yeah.
So that's very important. But it's been so good talking to you, man. And I'm looking forward to what's coming for you next. Where are you headed? You're headed out on a tour this September, right?
Yeah. Leaving September 27th. It's a 6-week tour starting in Austin, ending in the Pacific Northwest. It's gonna be so awesome. I'm really
That's
excited.
sick.
In
Well,
Asbury Park, Stone Pony.
yeah. See you
Yeah.
there. See you
Yep.
there. Hopefully you'll get to some good parks on your journeys, maybe some good swamps.
Yeah, I hope so.
Uh, if there's any directors out there writing a new Shrek movie, if they
Yeah.
need a swamp song,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is the guy.
Totally. I'm your guy.
All right.
Yeah.
Great talking to you, man, and have a good rest of your day.
All right, man. You too. I'll see ya.
Peace.